About a year ago, I did a video about undercoating your car with fluid film, and that is a very nice product. I actually have a bottle of it here, and it has very good reviews. I sprayed it. It's been there under my car for a year, through the winter, summer, and now it's again autumn. Let's have a look if it worked, if it's still there, and if I can see any improvement. Let's have a look if it's still there. I remember spraying a lot here, but there's not much left here. It's just continuing to rust. This surface seemed to have some kind of a film, and also this part seems to have some kind of a greasy film that might be that fluid film. This thing, I think I was spraying this thing as well. It's just continuing to rust. So kind of some parts are still with it, but some parts are no longer with that fluid film. It got washed away. So it's definitely a every year application thing that you'll have to do. This side is similar. Here I can feel there is a film, but here it's just continuing to rust. I actually wanted to spray another product and try it, but I see that it's a bit dirty and it could use a little spray to clean it off a bit with water. So I'll do that, and then I'll apply another product and see how it holds up over the winter. So the other product I want to try is the CRC Marine Heavy Duty Corrosion Inhibitor. I found it at my local Napa store, and I love CRC products. That's why I want to try this, because it's not cheap. It's more than $20 a can. 283 grams. How much is that in ounces? I don't know. So it's not a really big can. So yeah, something close to fluid film. Fluid film is, I think, is a bit more. Let's see. Fluid film is 333, so it's a bit smaller than fluid film, but, and it's more expensive. It's definitely more expensive, almost twice more expensive, I think. But I love CRC products, and I hope this one will be great as well. So I'm gonna wash the underbody and then apply this CRC Corrosion Inhibitor. So it is the next day, and I washed it off, all the dirt that I could wash off, and it's nice and dry. Now we can apply that CRC rust prevention. And unfortunately today is colder than yesterday. Yesterday was a very nice weather. Today it's about 10 degrees Celsius. It's not ideal. It says on the bottle sprayed at 16 degrees Celsius, but there's one trick we can do to help us. Just take the hottest water you can get from your tap at home and put your can in the water for, I don't know, until it warms up. So now it's been in the warm water for about 15 minutes, and it's nice and warm to touch. The instructions say shake it until your arm falls off and you can spray. But of course it says better 16 degrees. We don't really have that, but it will have to work at 10. So let's just start spraying. It's really liquidy. I thought it's gonna be like, oh, you see? It's really like a hairspray or something. So it's gonna be more like fluid film, very dense. Whoa, and it produces a lot of mist. Hairspray mist, but it kind of coats everything well. I like it, actually. Let's see, let's continue. It is really misty. I couldn't stay there under the car for so long. It's hard to breathe, so I'm gonna do the wheel wells as well. This should be, oh, and it does have some kind of a golden color to it. And it says don't get it on your paint. So this is plastic, that's okay, I guess, but I'm just gonna try to get it under there, under the arc, and over there on top, because I see some rusting there. I tried to spread it and spray it all over the place, but the coverage is not great. It's really easier to do when you have the wheel off, so that's what I might need to do, because I tried to cover stuff, but you see it's really hard. It's like paint. It's like paint. It's like a kind of paint. Still a bit left, but I did the rear wheel wells where I could, and I also did the back here. So this I think I covered pretty well. No, not really well there. I need to cover more, but this, I think I did this pretty good. So that's one can. And I remember with the fluid film I could do almost the whole car with one can. So it's really getting expensive. I sprayed a bit more, and I think I got this covered pretty good. But there's a tip right there for you. They say 40 centimeters, but that's too far. You can't get anything on there with 30 centimeters. You have to go like this far to get good coverage. So at the front here, now I'm at the front of the car. The idea is the same. Just spray everywhere where you see rust or starting to rust. And I'm a bit disappointed with the fluid film because this was rusty, and then I sprayed it with fluid film, and it's still rusty and it's still peeling off, and I don't see any fluid film left here. So I don't know, I'm a bit disappointed that it didn't stay there and it's just continuing to rust. Here also I did spray on these bolts, and I don't see any fluid film left there, and it's continuing to rust. So I'm a bit disappointed by that. Washed away pretty quickly. I hope this won't wash away as fast. It's the same idea. I warmed it up in the hot water, and now I'm just gonna go to town with it. But now I know that I should really keep it close to the surface. Otherwise it's just not getting where I want it to land. So I'm just gonna do the bolts and this thing, and wherever I can see rust there, and I see a lot. So unfortunately, I just noticed that it started leaking when I tilt it to one side. It just drips onto my hand. Yeah, what can I say? Okay, now I'm wearing gloves. I'm ready to get back in action. No, this is the empty one. This is the leaky one. Damn it! It looks like on top here it survived the treatment I did last year, but on the bottom it didn't. It's still leaking, but at least now I'm wearing gloves. Great. It's definitely not easy to get under the front of the car. So what I'm gonna do is probably change my front wheels to winter, and while I'm doing that I'm gonna spray whatever I see, and it's still leaking. So this has now officially turned into changing the wheels to the winter ones, and I've seen that I have some corrosion here, so I'm gonna spray them as well. The wheel is off, so now we have some access here. But as you see, everything's peeling off, but I see that it's oily, so it kind of held there. And again, it's the fluid film that should have held there. I don't know. But here, like there, it's dry. So these are just some places where the water is rushing from the road and they just wash away. Some parts that are protected are okay. They're still oily, greasy a bit. Anyway, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit and start spraying. I know it's not worth it, but I sprayed this wheel anyway. Sorry. It's all sprayed, and now 76 feet-pound of torque. There it is. So now I've done the other side. It's getting dark, but I tried to cover as much as I can. I think I missed a bit here because the can is empty. It is empty, but it sure leaked quite a lot, and I read the reviews that they clog, so I was expecting it to clog, but they actually leaked. So anyway, they do have some problems with their nozzles and their system and their cans, and it's not exactly a cheap product. So there you go. I'm out of 2 bottles of the CRC heavy duty corrosion inhibitor, and it didn't cover even the whole car for me. I managed barely to cover all the wheel wells and the back of the car and a little bit at the front, but I didn't even crawl underneath to do some more spraying all around underneath the car. Instead, the fluid film, I used 1 bottle and it was like $12, while these bottles are $22 each. So it's about 50 something dollars you pay, and it's not even covering the whole car. The other problem is these cans, they leak. You see how this one leaked? But all that aside, it does seem to perform better than fluid film, especially in places where you have a lot of water coming in, or maybe you have some friction or snow coming in contact. Because I sprayed some of that CRC heavy duty corrosion stuff here on this piece of windshield wiper assembly. I look at it and it's really forming a nice film on top of the metal, and if I try to remove it, it's not easy to remove. So it does look like this product is much better because it's, first of all, it did change the color of the metal here, and because it was a bit rusty here actually, it did change it. So it's looking much better now, and plus it makes that film on top that I can't wash away, because I did wash the car many times now since I put it on. Watch out for episode number 3. I'll have a look what comes out of this CRC heavy duty corrosion inhibitor spray after the winter. So to sum up, fluid film was not very effective in our climate, in our winters, because we have a lot of slush, a lot of snow, a lot of water washes underneath the car. and it washes fluid film away because it's just not sticking well enough there. I have good hopes for CRC. I would recommend using it. I see that it forms a more solid film, harder film, and it does seem to help a bit with rust. So I have good hopes for it, but I'll see after the winter. I'll inspect the parts that I covered and let you know in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.